The story opens in a cold, dim bunker where U.S. Special Forces operatives are held captive by a ruthless enemy. Death is staring them in the face, and the situation is spiraling out of control. When the captors set their sights on a female soldier named Wine, ready to inflict their cruelty, Captain Jesse Freeman steps in. He stares them down, declaring that she knows nothing. Jess's defiance pushes the militants over the edge. They demand answers, subjecting him to brutal beatings and high-voltage torture. But Jesse has sworn to protect his team, and he refuses to utter a single word. As the enemies bicker amongst themselves, the confusion provides an opening, and Jesse slips into unconsciousness. The captors are frustrated. They haven't gotten what they wanted, but they have no idea what is coming next. In reality, Jesse is only playing possum. The moment the heat dies down, he breaks his bindings with lightning speed and tears through his captors. He fights with a ferocity that leaves them stunned, managing to rescue 2 of his comrades. But just as the tide turns, the horror deepens. They discover the militants have rigged the bunker to blow. They scramble for the exit, but a massive explosion tears through the facility. Jesse is the only one who makes it out alive. Years pass, and Jesse has traded his tactical vest for a quiet, civilian life. He's a husband to Alicia and a father to 2 kids, Ryan and Mara. He works as a security guard, but the job has consumed him, leaving him emotionally distant from his family. Alicia is desperate for him to reconnect, especially since Ryan and Mara are constantly at each other's throats. Trying to be the father they need, Jesse hatches a plan to bridge the gap. He invites them to his workplace, a massive, state-of-the-art NBA stadium. It's a day of celebration, buzzing with the energy of a high-profile game. Jesse promises his kids an unforgettable experience. And why wouldn't it be? The city's mayor, Christine, and the governor, Mr. Paul, are in attendance, along with the stadium's new, glamorous owner, Diana. At the mention of these names, Mara lights up, and the joy on her face gives Jesse a rare sense of peace. Outside, the atmosphere is electric. Diana arrives with her boyfriend, Millie Hip, immediately swarmed by a wall of media and screaming fans. It is total chaos. Far from the noise, Jesse guides his kids through the restricted areas of the arena, introducing them to his boss, Devlin Montez, and a kind maintenance worker named Gus. Seeing the inner workings of the stadium leaves the kids in awe, but beneath the veneer of the celebration, death is laying a trap. The security team is on high alert, scanning every face in the crowd. Yet, a group of infiltrators posing as Wi-Fi technicians slip past security with alarming ease. While Jesse is busy seating his children, a fight breaks out in the stands. Duty calls, and he rushes to de-escalate the situation, leaving Ryan and Mara momentarily unattended. As the governor and mayor greet the VIPs, they are completely unaware that an entire mercenary unit has already breached the perimeter. Their leader, a cold, calculated operative named Josh, wastes no time. His team hacks the stadium's security grid and places bombs at critical structural points. To blend in, they shed their disguises and don stolen security uniforms. The game tips off, and as the crowd cheers, Josh's team begins their silent, lethal purge of the real security staff. A night of sport is rapidly transforming into a slaughterhouse behind the scenes. Ryan and Mara, blissfully unaware of the coming storm, remain glued to the game, while the VIPs lounge in their plush, fortified suite, completely blind to the fact that they are already in the crosshairs. Josh and his crew storm the VIP suite. At first, Josh plays the role of a starstruck fan, but the mask slips in an instant. His true motive is clear. He's there to clean out Diana. The tension in the room hits a breaking point when Josh draws his weapon. Governor Paul tries to negotiate, but Josh, cold and detached, executes him without a second thought. Silence swallows the room, thick with the stench of blood and terror. Meanwhile, in the stands, Ryan is so absorbed in the game he's completely forgotten about his sister. Mara, bored and restless, keeps asking about their father. Ryan brushes her off, mockingly telling her their dad's job is nothing special. Fed up, Mara heads off to find a restroom. Finding the public ones full, she slips into a restricted security-only lavatory. What she witnesses there freezes her blood. Josh's men are brutally executing the real security staff. Before she can scream, she is seized and dragged away, a helpless captive in a game she doesn't understand. Back in the suite, Josh forces Diana to initiate a $1 billion transfer into a secret account. He then orders his operative, Gamma, to systematically destroy the stadium's communication grid, effectively blinding the security team. When Jesse returns to his seats, his heart drops. Mara is gone. His rage toward Ryan's negligence is eclipsed by cold, tactical focus. He pulls out his phone and activates the tracking device on Mara's VIP pass. But the enemy is already 3 steps ahead. They've stripped the pass from her. Jesse realizes the signal is being used as a lure to draw him into their trap. As he pushes through the corridors, a mercenary jumps him. Jesse doesn't want to fight, but when your life is on the line, the old soldier takes over. He dispatches the guard in seconds, pinning him to the wall and demanding, "This badge belongs to a little girl. Where is she?" The guard, trembling, claims ignorance, but Jesse isn't in the mood for games. One final, brutal strike knocks him unconscious. Jesse connects with Gus, the maintenance worker, who is breathless and terrified. Gus reveals that the entire security detail had been swapped out overnight. That single, chilling detail confirms Jess's worst fears. They scramble toward the security center, but it's already too late. Josh's team has locked it down. Forced to retreat into a supply closet, Jesse peers out and sees them. The mercenaries are armed with military-grade automatic weapons, the kind of hardware that confirms they aren't just common thugs. They are a highly trained, professional organization. Elsewhere in the labyrinthine stadium, the brute known as Omega is dragging Mara toward a dark holding area. But Mara has her father's grit. She cleverly slips his grasp and bolts into the shadows, though she is recaptured shortly after. Still, she manages to stay hidden for just long enough to stay off their radar. Meanwhile, in the VIP suite, the horror intensifies. Diana recognizes Josh. He isn't just a terrorist. He's a disgraced former CIA agent, canned for murdering an innocent family under the guise of an anti-terror op. When Diana lets the truth slip, Josh snaps. The monster is unleashed, and he threatens to execute her right then and there. Deep in the bowels of the stadium, Jesse and Gus finally confront Gamma as she rigs a massive explosive device. Jesse demands answers about the security takeover, but she stays silent. When Gus tries to intervene, she cuts him down with ease. Now it's just Jesse against her, and the fight is only beginning. Then, the unthinkable happens. Gamma stops in her tracks, looks at Jesse, and with a chilling smile, declares that when the game ends, everyone in the arena dies. Before Jesse can react, she turns her own gun on herself and pulls the trigger. Silence descends, but Jesse has no time for grief. Drawing on years of military training, he moves with lethal efficiency to defuse the bomb. One catastrophe is averted, but the mission has only just begun. He still has to save Mara and the thousands of innocent lives sitting in the stadium, completely oblivious to the slaughter looming over them. In the VIP suite, Diana's words cut deep, and Josh's temper flares. When she taunts him by saying his family died because of his own sins, Josh loses his mind. He doesn't kill her. Instead, he forces a sadistic choice. Choose between the life of her boyfriend, Millie Hip, or the mayor. Just as all hope seems lost, the transfer hits Josh's account. The money stops his immediate plan, and he calls Gamma to check in. But when Jesse answers the line, Josh's blood runs cold. He realizes his operative is dead and orders his remaining men to hunt Jesse down and kill him. Just when things look bleakest, Omega arrives with a terrified Mara in tow. Meanwhile, the stands are still a sea of celebration, with the crowd unaware that death is buried beneath their feet. Jesse finds Ryan, frantic, but realizes he can't find Mara in this labyrinth of explosives. He orders his son to stay put and stay safe, then heads out with Gus on a desperate run to locate the remaining bombs. In the VIP suite, Josh interrogates Mara, but the girl shows grit that would make her father proud. Despite the gun pressed to her face, she stares him down, defiant, telling him her father is coming for them. Jesse and Gus are blocked at every turn, so Jesse makes a break for the announcement center to trigger a mass evacuation. But 2 of Josh's goons ambush them. Jesse escapes the chaos, but his ally, Ben, is gunned down. While retreating, Jesse runs into his own boss, Devlin. The relief is short-lived. Devlin pulls his gun on Jesse. The truth is a knife in the back. Devlin was in on the plot from the start. Heartbroken by the betrayal, Jesse disarms him, beats him to the ground, and swipes his earpiece, feeding Josh false information to keep him in the dark. When Josh learns that Jesse is an elite Special Forces veteran, panic sets in. Desperate to maintain control, he hits Mara and orders Omega to kidnap Ryan as well. Omega tries to grab the boy, but Ryan holds his ground, refusing to budge. Josh spots Jesse on the monitors and sends hit squads to finish him. Jesse lures them into a kill zone and dispatches them with surgical precision. After squeezing Mara's location out of the dying Omega, he contacts Gus, telling him to bypass the main routes. With the clock ticking on the game, Gus takes on the final explosives alone. Back at the VIP suite, Josh reaches for the trigger, but before he can finish the job, Jesse crashes through the glass. Josh triggers the detonators, but thanks to Gus' bravery in disarming the charges, the building holds. Jesse tears through the remaining mercenaries, but in the confusion, Josh drags Mara and flees. Jesse fights through the panicking crowd, reuniting with his wife, Alicia, who had rushed to the stadium upon hearing of the blast. High in the corridors, Jesse and Josh face off for the final time. Jesse lands heavy blows, but fatigue sets in, and Josh gains the upper hand. Just as Josh prepares to finish him, Mara summons the strength to kick their attacker. Josh lashes out at her, but Jesse rises, pulling his daughter to safety. The horror, however, isn't over. Mara has a timed explosive strapped to her arm. Death is inches away. Suddenly, Diana emerges from the shadows, gun drawn. Josh laughs, thinking she won't have the nerve, but she pulls the trigger without hesitation. Jesse lunges forward, rips the device off his daughter, and secures it to Josh's body. The explosion consumes the villain, ending the nightmare. The stadium is saved and the family is reunited. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you in the next one.